Present, I call together the November 1st meeting of the City of West Sacramento City Council, the West Sacramento Redevelopment Agency, and the West Sacramento Finance Authority. We will begin with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge that land on which we live, work, learn, and commune is the original homelands of the indigenous people of West Sacramento, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. We acknowledge and we thank the original inhabitants who have occupied, maintained, and secured this place and who still exist on this land. We respect and celebrate the many diverse indigenous people still connected to this land on which we gather. The council met in closed session this evening on the items on the agenda. Mr. City Attorney, would you please provide the report?
The council met in closed session, as the mayor said, and provided direction to staff on the items that were listed on the agenda.
All right, thank you. And we would like to invite our guests to join the council and staff in the pledge, which will be led by Commander James Brashear. Would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? And thank you for your service, Mr. Brashear. See, you brought your furry friend with you. That's great, thank you. As is noted on our agenda, City Council is prohibited by state law from discussing or taking any action on items that are brought up under item 1 for public comment. But it provides an important opportunity for a public forum. The public is given an opportunity at this time to address City Council issues not listed on the agenda. And we do ask that anyone wishing to address the council on this or any other item this evening to please fill out a request to speak card and return it to the clerk. And we accept the request to speak cards up to the conclusion of the reading of a staff report or any particular agenda item. And once that has been read and we open the item up for public comment, the clerk will announce your name for you to walk up to the podium. And in front of the clerk, there is a timer to ensure that everyone has a chance to be heard. And we ask that all comments be limited to 3 minutes. Also in front of the clerk is an analog flip chart which indicates which agenda item the council is currently considering. We also recognize that for some, speaking in public can cause anxiety, so we request that there be no applause or boos, catcalls, or other demonstrations. Furthermore, so that we may maintain a civil discourse, here in the chambers, we ask that those in attendance and those who address the City Council abide by the code of conduct posted and not speak in loud, threatening, offensive, abusive, or other disrespectful language that disrupts, disturbs, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting. Now, this brings us to item 1, presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the council, and each person has 3 minutes to speak. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak?
Yes, ma'am. Our first speaker is Guy Stevenson.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. I talked to a sergeant the other day that actually is a detective with West Sacramento, and he has to now work patrol because they don't have any cops over here. So, I mean, they have cops, but they don't have the right amount of cops, just like they don't have the right amount of fire people. This city is growing. I mean, growing massively. There's a lot of new businesses open up. You guys want to put dispensaries over here, and which is going to invite lots of problems, but that's a whole different issue. I'm asking the city council to consider, maybe with Aaron, maybe you should do something to draw some of these police from other agencies to come over here, maybe lateral, you know, to come over here, or put more people into the academy. When you have a sergeant who's a detective going on patrol because they don't have the right amount of officers out on the street, that's pretty scary. It's scary to me. I'm an elderly person. I'm 66 years old. I can't take butt whippings like I used to. But the point is, it's an important thing to me because law enforcement should be a priority in this city. Because a lot of the problems that go on the other side of the bridge, and believe me, there's a lot of tension going on over there with the Middle East, and it could come right over here very easily. You got to have the right amount of police and fire department over here because like I said, the city is growing and it's very important. There's a lot of people that probably don't like cops. Well, that's just tough. But most people do, and I'm one of those people, and I'm about law and order. Before I close, the only thing that I'm going to ask everybody to do, including the people up here, is we have a lot of Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Army right now in harm's way in the Middle East. And those people are in my heart and they're in my prayers because some of those people are my brothers and sisters in uniform. And I'm just asking if you people would please pray for them for the return and hopefully not on an angel flight. I would appreciate it. All right? Thank you very much. Have a great, wonderful night.
Thank you.
Robin Davis.
Hi, I'm Robin and I live in my 160 square foot semi-off-grid tiny home on wheels on my undeveloped residential property here in West Sacramento. I wanted to express my concerns today with not just the resistance and lack of action towards allowing more diverse affordable housing in our city, but also the lack of action to open our Brighton Broderick Community Center. I've watched this historic building be completely renovated and re-renovated into a beautified space to be shared with the community, and yet it has sat empty for months due to ongoing issues with the permitting process. We have so many opportunities that we are being handed to this neighborhood and the city at no cost to the city. We have the Tiny Home Industry Association volunteers, advocates providing resources for another affordable housing options for our residents. Then we have a local tribe donating the space for this underfunded and underserved part of the city, and yet there's little to no movement or support or even excitement on either of these projects. The fact that these two projects would both involve the same neighborhood and the same community development department and are facing extensive permitting roadblocks, I think needs some real discussion on why that is. I hope we can one day reevaluate our permitting processes and what our priorities are in this city. I hope that uplifting communities to support themselves through community organizing and affordable access to water get to the top of our list one day. So council, I urge you to please assist in figuring out a resolution to get this community center open as soon as possible. I also look forward to the next council meeting to hear your thoughts on the tiny home workshop consideration that will be on the next agenda according to David Tilley in the planning department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maria Garcia.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es María García. Vengo hablando acerca del centro comunitario de Bright and Broderick. No está abierto, problemas con los permisos. Y otro tema que me gustaría es saber cuándo nuestra alberca se va a abrir, promesas hechas y seguimos esperando. Y me gustaría también tener un traductor para los comentarios.
Hi, you guys. For those of you that don't know Spanish, I'm going to translate for Miss Maria Garcia. So her first issue that she was bringing up was the Broderick and Bright Community Center in the north area, asking when it's going to open up and how we can get some help opening it. The second issue that she mentioned was wondering when the pool is going to open up, there was a lot of promises made, and assurances, but we're still waiting. The pool is not open. And the third part, she was asking for a translator so that in case I'm not here or somebody's not here to translate for her so that she can be heard here in this council. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alfred Melbourne.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council. all you
Gracias.
fine folks here. I want to make sure that you guys hear me correctly. So I want to start off by saying that I love our community. I give thanks to the Wintun, Miwok, and Maidu of this territory. I've always believed in our community because I know that we are leaders. So my name is Alfred Melbourne, and I am First Nations representative from Turtle Island. Tonight, I really wanted to tell you guys how Three Sisters Gardens is doing. I wanted to tell you guys all the good things that we're accomplishing, and we are, but I have something more pressing and urgent on my mind. I've had to learn a lot of hard lessons in my life, and some of those lessons cost me dearly. But the most important thing that I learned was that violence is not the answer. So I'm calling on our city, a community, and our city leaders to approve a resolution recognizing the suffering of the Palestinians in Gaza and accuse Israel of ethnic cleansing. My conscience would not allow me to stay silent in such a great time of need, to know that our government is providing the financial resources in the billions of dollars and the munitions and the aircraft and the missiles and the bombs to conduct this genocide is far too much for me to be okay with. It would cost $50 billion to end homelessness in the United States, but we're sending all of our money overseas to kill innocent Palestinian men, women, and children. We are aiding in genocide, aiding and abetting in genocide. Our communities have been calling things out for decades now with no answer. Our communities all suffer from food insecurity and a housing crisis. We have money for war, but we cannot feed the poor. Tupac. I just wanted to say that because this thing has been out there. We all know that there's an issue, but yet we continue to send all our money overseas when our communities suffer. I think that's a real big issue that has to be addressed. We know that this is America's history, but it doesn't have to continue to be our future. We are far too educated, we're far too sophisticated to be witnessing murder and violence of innocent civilians, men, women, and children, and stay silent. No more of our tax dollars to support the genocide of innocent people in Palestine or anywhere. I'm asking our community and our elected representatives to stand on the right side of history and agree to a resolution recognizing the suffering of the Palestinians in Gaza and accuse Israel of ethnic cleansing. Once and for all, we as a nation need to stand up and do the right thing, putting an end to the apartheid regime imposed by Israel on the Palestinian people. Enough is enough. The United States should use its influence with Israel and the international community to negotiate an end to the killing. Of course, we want the safe return of any hostages and definitely end the slaughter of civilians with our tax dollars. So thank you guys for hearing me, and I hope that you guys can really listen with your hearts.
We have no additional requests to speak.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. This brings us next to item 2 is our presentations under the City Manager's Office, and we have a presentation of the 2023 Helen Putnam Award for Excellence in City Business Relations for the West Sacramento Home Run Paid Internship Program, and Charles Anderson, representing Cal Cities, will be here to present that item. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Guerrero and council members. I'm Charles Anderson. I'm the Public Affairs Manager for the Sacramento Valley Division of the League of California Cities. Thank you for the opportunity to present the Helen Putnam Award for Excellence to the City of West Sacramento this evening. Before presenting this award, I would like to briefly explain the significance of the person this award is named for. Helen Putnam was a mother, school teacher, principal, mayor, and county supervisor. But most of all, Helen Putnam was a person who viewed meeting one's potential as the measure of success. Excellence to Helen Putnam was shown by someone who did his or her very best. She was as supportive and loving of people who did their best as she was of people who did the best. To the League of California Cities, Helen Putnam defined excellence. The award for excellence is given in her memory. Established in 1982 by the League of California Cities, The Helen Putnam Award for Excellence recognizes outstanding achievements by California's cities. The Helen Putnam Award for Excellence is awarded each year in 12 categories to cities that incorporate innovative solutions to community needs or improves efficiency in the delivery of services. For 2023, I present the Helen Putnam Award in the category of City Business Relations to the City of West Sacramento for its Home Run Paid Internship Program. The Paid Internship Program is one of 6 programs of the West Sacramento Home Run supporting children, youth, and families in the City of West Sacramento. This bold and exciting program connects high school youth in your city with local employers who mentor and work with interns to help educate them about a career pathway, while student interns receive a paycheck through the program. Since the launch of the internship program in the summer of 2018, 170 high school students have participated in an 8-week internship. The paid internship enables all young people, including those who are low or very low income, to take advantage of the opportunities offered. Congratulations to the City of West Sacramento in this achievement and for your home run program. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much. And we have some guests that I invited to join us because they're our partners, as this award indicates. We have representatives from our school district, Dr. Hildreth, our superintendent. We have Trustee Jackie Wong, and then Trustee Kobe Pizzotti, who's here, and then Justine, who's here on behalf of the Home Run Program. And I don't know if anybody would like to speak. You have an opportunity to share some thoughts about the program.
Me and Mike, that's dangerous. So I remember when we started the home run process, when we actually, in 2016, and it was such this phenomenal idea that actually has such national and local presence. And it's such an honor to get this award. And I have to tell you, city staff have been really fabulous in really creating that vision of a city that it really encompasses a true partnership with the school district, with the community, and really begins with 0 to 5. You know, I had to mention that as first 5 director when you had Up for West Sac, all the way through internships and the college savings program. So really grateful to be close partners and thought leaders in this space, and really thank you to the League of Cities for honoring that the fact that we know that we have strong communities begins with strong schools and strong partnerships. So grateful for this award and grateful for all of your leadership and those who are no longer with us when this was just a seed and idea that you all created in 2016.
And just quickly, I'd like to say thank you again to, the city for basically starting off this program. And I can't tell you how proud we are to be a partner, but also the vision that you guys had to create something like this. It's something just masterful. I mean, it's helped so many kids throughout our school district, from just the wee little ones that started as Trustee Wong said, from the West Sac, the Up for West Sac program, to now the digital badging, as that's starting to become a thing, and the internships. This is a great program, and I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Again, thank you on behalf of Washington Unified, and I want to share with you perspective of students, because that's who we really do our work for. And so the benefit that I have been able to see through the Home Run program, and with Justine and the team meeting consistently, our goal has been to increase the opportunity, to increase the awareness, and to increase the access for students to be able to participate in this program. And I think over the last year, Justine, if I'm correct, we have increased maybe from, what did you say the numbers were? From 36 to 56 more students having access to this program. And we've had the benefit of having some of the students intern at the district office, and they're so excited about shadowing opportunities, because that's really what it's about, seeing what we talk about real world, but they get to see what real world experiences are. They get to have mentors on site, and to get paid for that is something that does not happen in every district. And it's so one of the many reasons why I'm so grateful and proud to be the superintendent of Washington Unified, because these are the types of programs that we have here. So I just wanted to say thank you for being our partner in this work, and thank you, Mayor, for inviting us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I know the other trustees would like to be here, but were unable. They had conflicts. Justine?
I'm actually just going to speak on behalf of those who are not here. The team, the whole West Sacramento Home Run team was just so incredibly proud to receive this honor. And so I know they all wish they could be here tonight. For various reasons they can't be, but also the Chamber of Commerce of the City of West Sacramento has been so instrumental in making this program just come to what it is now. And they're a huge reason why we got so many available internships this past year as well as previous years. So I just wanted to say thank you for those who are not here, and also on behalf of me as well. Thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you so much for your partnership. Let us go down and take a photo?
Yes.
Madam Mayor, are we going to have the opportunity to make some comments?
I'll just go to the next item. Did you want to make some comments?
Yeah, I'd like to, if that's okay.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that even though our guests have left, I wanted to just say this is a really wonderful night for West Sacramento to see our city being recognized for what was essentially the brainchild of Christopher Cabaldon and a council back in 2000, well, maybe 16 or even earlier, who at the time, it was really difficult to imagine what a digital badge was and to really put into fruition what an idea of what a home run program, because it was called something different back then. But it's wonderful. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to realize this, because it was a very innovative and thoughtful program. And you go to South by Southwest or just across the nation and DC when we go to cap, and people are raising an eyebrow wondering what the heck, how did they pull that off? But of course we're small and mighty, and it's just really a cool recognition to see that part of the program being highlighted. I mean, there are things happening every day. This program is evolving all the time. But to see that we have the college savings accounts and the early childhood education component, and now being recognized for the internships, I think that is one of the most fantastic legacies that we can enjoy here tonight. So I just want to commend our home run staff and school district and our own city staff for participating and help elevating us again in such a way. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Any other comments?
The one thing I will say is how proud I am of us for investing and continuing to invest in this program, and it's made possible because our city said this matters to us, and we have dollars that uniquely in West Sacramento go to supporting our kids and opportunities for children here in West Sacramento. And again, that is very highly unusual to have a city partnering so closely with our education and our district, as well as investing in both childcare, right, scholarships, and our educational programs. And so, again, I think well-deserved investment through our staff as well. And I just want to continue to move this forward and show appreciation.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'll go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
I was going to say, I've served on the school board. Now that I'm in city council, I often saw how wonderful the relationship was, especially for the kids. We've had Danny Theracool, community member, that's come forward, and he was a member of the program. He said one of the best experiences he ever had was working at city here at City Hall and getting paid for it. So it's really a wonderful opportunity to develop skills, social as well as hands-on skills that you need, when you're entering the workforce. And it also is so important because I remember many young people saying they couldn't wait to get out of West Sac. I don't hear that so much anymore. A lot of these young people are really proud of the city and the opportunities that programs like this afford.
Well, Trustee Wong was talking about 2016. That was when I was the president and CEO of the West Sacramento Chamber of Commerce, and emailing our members to talk about this opportunity and what the future of workforce development looked like, and looking for the businesses' support in this. During that time, it was probably the most excited I've seen the local business community be. And to see the growth in numbers of the businesses that are participating, that are creating space in their organizations for a high school intern is phenomenal. A lot of businesses won't consider an internship till postgraduate from college, and to get high schoolers to have the access and the exposure to industries in their hometown is just incredible. So want to echo what Justine said, compliment the chamber on all their work on that. And what's really cool is I have friends whose kids are in high school who now are going through this program, and everybody gets to report back on what their experiences. And for all of the students, it's been incredibly positive. So I'm a huge fan of the program. I attended the League of California Cities Conference and got to wear the badge flag that said Helen Putnam Award winner, and it was just a very proud moment to be representing West Sacramento. So thank you to the staff who worked really, really hard on this, and for everybody behind the scenes who welcomed the interns into their offices.
Thank you, council members, for all your investment and interest in this. It is truly important to support our youth, especially these times. I wasn't up for West Sac, an appointee, and I know we felt like we needed to do something to continue to expand our early learners and early education system, and Measure E came around and was approved by the voters. It's sales tax revenue that goes directly into investing in our youth's future. And that's something we need to talk about a lot more, is where are our tax dollars going? How is it serving our community? How is it building a stronger future in not only our business community, through economic development, but our workforce, and then also in opening up doors for educational opportunities for our youth through a grant so that they can purchase additional items that they need to start off in college. And so in my support early on in Up for West Sac as a board member, and then moving forward in today, I was constantly monitoring the growth of the program, and was so grateful that, Justine had just a ton of ideas when I started off as mayor, and seeing that we can really further expand this program. And so when the internship program started in 2019, COVID hit, and unfortunately it couldn't get off the ground. We had a hard time. I think we had about 5 people or something like that during COVID, but some youth were placed during COVID. But then after, when doors were reopening and businesses were coming back into their workplace settings, we started to see the numbers grow. As you know, the workforce was not ready to come back to work, but our youth were ready to find a job opportunity. They were eager to see what they can do for their futures. And so they came back in full force. And not only that, but we opened up and expanded their ability to qualify to be able to participate. That in itself created the growth. That in itself created more opportunities for youth who previously couldn't qualify to fully qualify, which is, I think, a key component of why we are seeing significant growth. And our businesses, as you know, I think we still find businesses who are unaware of the internship program. So businesses who are chamber members, as they call up and they say, hey, do you know where, I can post an ad, to get a youth during the summer? And I said, how about our home run program? They said, what's that? And what is it's something you can participate in. You can have a paid intern and train them, and they'll probably likely work for you in the future and continue on. And they're absolutely interested. So, that's the bowling alley. They're interested in a home run intern in the future. But we know, the one thing I see are our home run internship program, just the expansion of former, youth who participated in the home run program now in our workforce here in West Sacramento. And they are working for the city, and they are doing their part to, speak firsthand on the benefits of the home run program as they participated. And not only that, but we've expanded the program to include, as a result of state law, allowing for us to be able to apply for grants and to qualify, able to have those who are women who are pregnant to be able to qualify for their child before they're born to open up a savings account. And so that's a great opportunity. But just seeing that youth who do things like go to a dentist or, get mental health services or, kind of more regular activities that they normally have access to, be able to qualify. And, just in the trunk or treat, that line was huge in the home run booth. It was a lot of fun and very creative and to attract more youth to participate. And also in the high school, YOLO Food Bank distribution for our high schoolers who did participate. They all went over, as I explained to them, you have an paid internship program that you can participate in, and they all flocked to that tent so that they can get more information about that. So I know our youth are very hungry for opportunities to grow and learn here in their home, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity for our entire community. And so with that, I just want to say thank you to the staff, the chamber, and the school district for this partnership that without their partnership, this wouldn't be possible. So I just want to thank them all. All right. Next, under the city manager, a city manager item is the presentation of the proclamation honoring November 11th as Veterans Day. And our local VFW commander, James Brashear, I'll go up to the podium with you and read the proclamation. Well, thank you, James, for being here today. I'm just going to read the proclamation, and then we'll have all the council come down for a photo. So, whereas Americans veterans have fought to defend our country, its values, and its interests since the first day of our founding. They have defeated tyrants, eliminated terrorists, and secured freedom at home and abroad. And whereas veterans of our armed forces selflessly fought to earn and to protect our democratic freedoms as citizens of the United States. Whereas these soldiers, sailors, air women and men, Marines and Coast Guard women and men selflessly place lives, well-being, and security of others before their own. We enjoy the privileges of peace, prosperity, and freedom because of our veterans. And whereas our community owes a debt of gratitude to our veterans that can never fully be repaid, and whereas the scars of military service and warfare linger long after the battlefield, and their courage and fortitude in the face of adversity serve as an example for all Americans. And whereas their love of their country and dedication to duty, America's veterans have endured adversity, loneliness, fatigue, loss, and made other incredible sacrifices. And whereas on Veterans Day, we pause to pay tribute to all who have proudly worn our nation's uniform. And whereas the 2023 theme of service highlights the distinct honor it is to serve and protect our way of life, and the Constitution of the United States of America. And whereas in West Sacramento, the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 8762 strives to foster camaraderie among United States veterans of overseas conflict and to advocate on behalf of all veterans. And whereas the vision of VFW Post 8762 is to ensure that veterans are recognized for their sacrifices they and their loved ones have made on behalf of this great country. And whereas VFW Post 8762 has been a part of the West Sacramento community for 76 years, and now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council of West Sacramento expresses both its gratitude for VFW Post 8762 and support for the 2023 West Sacramento Veterans Day Parade, and urges all members of the community to join in observance of this holiday and to honor its veterans proclaimed on this first day of November. Thank you, Commander Bashir. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you. And would you like to say a few words?
I would,
and then,
actually.
Okay, go ahead, and then
Thank
we'll
you.
have everybody.
In a second. First, I just want to thank Madam Mayor and the City Council for their tremendous support over the years. It's hard to believe that I've been running the VFW for 8 years now. Feels like just yesterday I started this, and like, oh, it's 1 year, I'll be done real quick. 8 years later, I'm still here, still kicking, still fighting, keep the place going to help the veterans in the community. And it shows the dedication of the community and the city and the support from the city. At the beginning of COVID, there were 6 VFWs in Yolo County. Today, there's 1, and that's our post. And that is thanks in part to the community of West Sacramento and amazing people and all their support to come out and help us keep the post open and to keep us going and helping all the veterans in the entire county now. It's not an easy task. It's a lot of long hours to help these veterans who don't know how to navigate the system. But with the help of the city and the support from the community and an army of volunteers that's meeting right now to finalize the last minute details of the parade to make sure the parade goes off, I want to say thank you for me and all the other veterans. I want to thank the police chief, fire chief, city manager. You guys have led your departments to help make this seamless for us on this parade happen. And without your dedicated staff, we couldn't do it. So I want to thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So I think most of us will be participating. Oh, James? 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 Chief? Don't go yet. So I think most of us will be participating in the VFW parade, correct? And so, and it's an opportunity for us to express our gratitude to our veterans to be a participant. I know the team that worked on it has worked really hard. And just want to, invite my colleagues to share a few remarks, because I know we won't get a chance to speak at that parade.
I just want to say thank you for all that you do. I was not aware that we had 5 other VFWs close. Both of my parents are former military, retired 20 years in the Air Force. I got to see firsthand living on Mather Air Force Base, what it's like, and then also living in the Azores at an Army Air Force Base, the importance and commitment to our country, and how also it is important that we support our veterans when they come home, because it's not easy to navigate the system. I've also had an opportunity to see that firsthand, and so it can't be understated how important the role that you play and the VFW plays in helping our veterans when they come home to get the help that they often need, and also just to have a place of community for individuals who understand what it was like to fight for our country, to be overseas, because not everyone understands that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Saying thank you for your service just doesn't seem like enough, but thank you for your service, and thank you for your current service. I know this type of work is, as you mentioned, you signed up for a year, and 8 years later, you're still doing it. You do it because of your heart. And I know planning parades isn't that easy either, but to create a platform that our veterans not only get to participate in the community and do something, but it is such a wonderful amenity for everyone to come out and support our veterans. So I just want to thank you for all the time and energy and the work that the volunteers do to create just something so special and unique for Sacramento.
I think this is the 5th Veterans Day Parade I'm going to be participating in. And I do that, and I'm so proud to do it, because all the men in my family are veterans, every single one of them. We've had them in the Navy, Army, Marines, and the Air Force. Going back to World War II, they've been in Korea, Vietnam, and Iraq. And some of our relatives didn't come back. So it's a wonderful time to remember the great sacrifices some people make for our freedom. Thank you again for your service.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for allowing us the opportunity to speak. I'll be brief. I just want to say thank you for your valor. Thank you for what you carry, both what's visible and what's not. Thank you for protecting us and for defending our rights. Like I know that many of us have relatives and loved ones who have served. I think that's the ultimate sacrifice, and as a result, you deserve all of our respect and admiration. Thank you specifically for what you do for our veterans in the West Sacramento region, and I'm sure outside the West Sacramento region, who are coming to West Sacramento in order to be around their brethren and sisters. I do look forward to the parade, and I, like my colleagues, have participated every time I've had the opportunity to be invited. I think the work of Brian Steiger, who puts it all in, man, it is a wonderful showing in our beautiful little city. Again, I'll say it again, mighty little city, right? We really do show up for our people. And before I forget, one of my loved ones who I moved down in Old West Sacramento back in 2014 from Bridgeway area, and across the street was this old retired naval veteran, Herbert Wilfong, and he'd sit out in front of his house every single day, and he became my family. And a couple years ago, after the parade, I went over to him and took a bunch of pictures, of him for his little mantle. And just a few days later, he passed away. But it was one of the most beautiful moments that we had him. He's so vibrant, and he really did exemplify what it meant to be a serviceman. And all of his friends that would gather around his place in order to get those photographs and to just spend those times. And that's what it means to be community. So thank you, sir, for coming before us and for your kind and beautiful words today. We look forward to remembering all those alive and not throughout the year, not just on one day.
Thank you, council members. I'm just so grateful for this council who show their appreciation for our veterans and for the VFW. I think you've had a few close calls where you were also going to be one of those numbers that we're going to shut down. And I know there's still interest, and so there's got to be a lot more support to have a place where our veterans can call home. when they've been such a transitory population, as you heard, Councilmember Early, they move around quite a bit. That's part of the life that they've embraced. But when they come back, the United States, they need to find a place where they can reconnect back to what it is that they would like to do here in the United States and find that support. And James, you have maintained that and are a fighter for that. I'm really appreciative that you've done that. We share stories on, some of the challenges that you've experienced. I remember during COVID, you were very creative with the cornhole, attracting a place where you can continue to maintain revenue for the VFW, to keep their doors open. And I think you did it with the heart and passion for the veterans. It's always been in your mind and in what you do in your life and your dedication for the veterans. And, throughout this time, in our lives, we do get worn down, and I see your service companion who's here for you. And when, we do all we have done, for our country, I'd like for our city to recognize and receive you in, both in your workplace, where your service companion can be supporting you in the workforce, and because I know you're a firefighter as well for West Sacramento. And also, where I see him at the VFW, because I know that, your companion is fully aware of your personal needs, not only, just for emotional stability if you're feeling stressed, but for your health and if anything is happening. So, keeps that monitoring, helps you to keep track and stay healthy. So that's what I believe. I'm a social worker, and I believe in resources that provide one to provide the full capacity to serve, the entire community as you have continued to do. And so with that, with all of those, including, like to, say Bob is also in the service as well in the Coast Guard and has served, and anyone else who has served in both in our West Sac PD, our fire department, and in our city, as we remember all of our veterans here. We just like to thank them all. You have a council who is very supportive and grateful for your service. So I just want to say we fully and gratefully appreciate you. So thank you all. Next, we have our consent agenda items 4 through 8. Are there any requests to remove an item for questions or presentation? Administration? Okay, then I will open up for public comment. Madam Clerk, are there any requests?
We have no requests to speak.
Then I'll close the public comment, bring it back to council, or accept them for discussion or accept a motion.
Early motions. Second.
And Madam Clerk, Early moved, and Councilmember Alcala seconded? Yes. Okay.
Councilmember Sulpicio Hull.
Aye.
Councilmember Early.
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Orozco.
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye. All right. Yeah. Consent agenda item is approved. We have no public hearing or no regular agenda items tonight, so we will go next to our general administration. Function part 2, do we have any council reports from our council assignments? Yes,
I do.
Councilmember Early?
So I attended SACOG as the alternate 2 weeks ago. It's now blending together. In which we had an opportunity to tour some locations in South Sacramento, including La Familia, and really get to see how dollars from SACOG in combination with the county had really expanded both housing and services, transportation services, all connected in South Sacramento. And so we continue to learn and explore, and I know you're fully aware of this, Mayor, the diversity of our region and what diversity looks like in each of our counties, in each of our cities. And so these walking tours have been a really great opportunity to see the full investment of SACOG's dollars, both federal and state, and how it's important in bringing all of our counties and communities together, because we really are one region. And so that was a really great experience and also a learning experience for me. And then the other meeting I attended last week actually was the Yolo County Housing Authority, in which we approved reallocating additional vouchers for housing to ensure that the project-based vouchers were available. And then lastly, I had an opportunity to go to the groundbreaking for the Huddle here in West Sacramento, which I think is 5th and C, I want to say. I see Aaron saying maybe general area. Right behind actually Sal's Tacos for family housing. And so that housing is slated to open up fall 2024. They could not have been any more complimentary of working with our city staff. So I want to give you all a huge shout out. This is the first of its kind project affordable housing for parents who are also attending school in California. And they said they looked high and low for partners across California. And it was our little mighty city that was able to step up to the plate, because that is exactly what we do. We are willing to be innovative. And again, we put community first, and we know that our community needs housing right now, especially affordable housing. What's amazing about this is, again, there will be project-based vouchers associated with the 17 housing units, which means that parents will not pay more than 30% of their income while they're living there. So amazing, exciting, and again, that will open up hopefully fall 2024. Thank you.
I think did you mention that West Sacramento didn't have to contribute to this project? Please.
Well, I think we did. We reduced our impact fees, which is our contribution, which brought in about $1 million.
But isn't it highly unusual for cities, for projects like this, for cities to not have a direct monetary contribution as opposed to, I don't know, Mr. Laurel, do you?
Well, I think,
have any
yeah,
contact?
we were having a
Just quickly,
conversation
so there
earlier.
was no, what's unique about it, there was no direct subsidy like we've done other affordable housing projects. It's typically the case. The fee reduction is something we did, the council did as a district-wide thing, so that definitely benefited the project. But you're right, there was no direct funding from the city in this project, which is unique.
But Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, I think what's highlighted there is how government can work really well, right, for incentivizing economic development. And that's something that we voted on and that we did, recognizing that we wanted to stimulate more growth and allow for developments to be able to come in and invest both in Washington as well as our Bridge District. And so definitely something to commend us on as well.
One more thing on that is being a pro-housing city, what that promotes is an opportunity to qualify for grants. And so they did qualify for a grant. And so we, with the housing element that we had voted on, the housing element provided, which the Housing Community Development Department was looking closely, and it's not easy to pass a housing element. There are many other cities who are having a hard time. The challenge is establishing a plan where you're going to be, laying out where your affordable housing is going to be. And so initially ours was in the riverfront, but I think we went back and forth with HCD, Housing Community Development, and it ended up, with especially the Northern California legal, representation, where I made sure they were included as part of the, the conversation with staff. That we actually have diversified where our affordable housing is going to be placed and situated throughout the city. And so when you look at, how we accomplished the pro-housing designation, we achieved that through the success of our housing element.
I was just commenting on how cool that was. That's
Yeah,
all.
no,
Sorry.
that's-
Any
but it's-
explanation about that?
I think
yeah.
our contribution is policy changes, which staff have done such a thorough job in analyzing and preparing that, and that's our contribution. Pretty significant.
Well, it's unique and innovative, and I love it, and I'm really proud of our colleagues for representing. I know Councilmember Early West did speak at that event and represented our city very well. So kudos to all.
Thank you. Councilmembers Opizio Hall? Okay. And with that, I think while you were in SACOG, thank you so much for covering. I was in the Bloomberg City Lab 2023 event in Washington, D.C., and there were a number of, informational sessions. And one of the key ones that I am going to share is, the generative AI is something that Bloomberg is investing in financially as well to help bolster cities, and thank you, John, I know John's the lead on that, is to help bolster cities' involvement in improving public services with the use of Gen AI. And so we had a mayor's innovation lab where we were all sequestered in a room, and we were fed, but we were in this room, and we heard from experts who have opened up our eyes and seen the potential that Gen AI has to bring, just a stronger, more robust engagement with our community, ensuring that I think we can reach a fuller potential. And I'm really looking forward to working with Bloomberg Philanthropy to establish that. And also Johns Hopkins University is just a huge partner. So I think we're going to see some, potential future opportunities in this, and bring this to our strategic plan and retreat as we get, further down the road in conversations. In addition to that, there were a number of wonderful speakers, including Mayor Karen Bass, who spoke about how she's breaking ground on addressing homelessness. She's made it a priority, and I'll also be going to the U.S. Conference of Mayors homelessness task force meeting. So it's a great opportunity for us to share and exchange ideas on what we're doing to address homelessness. I think West Sacramento is doing some great work. We have some room to grow. And earlier today, Doug and I were able to, discuss this with our region as well in the U.S. Conference of Mayors. It was a nice discussion. And there was just a number of topics that we shared and exchanged ideas on what we can do to enhance more of a connection with our community, bringing in those who want to be a part of it. And so as a result of that, I'm going to go out to the community and start sharing those ideas, start exchanging, what is it you'd like to see? And just having, cafecito with the mayor. So just being able to exchange some things that I've learned with others in the community who would be interested, transportation, housing, affordable housing, things like that, just to, get some ideas, and continuing to work with my colleagues here as well. Thank you. All right, next we have our council appointments. I do want to say that for I think I recall that you approved my participation in the JPA for the YOLO animal shelters. And so we could have an alternate, I did ask, in case there's interest.
I asked if there was an alternate and it wasn't needed. I'm happy to do it. If you can't attend, I'm happy to take that meeting for you.
Now, Madam Clerk, could we, do we take a vote, or do we take this in the next agenda? There's no rush, because each city has to adopt their MOU to include us in the JPA, and so we have some time until January to do something. So I want to give you some time to think about what we need to do.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we were sidebarring over here about could you do the appointment tonight if there was interest, and
Could
we
we?
think you could.
Oh, okay, good.
So if there is a council member that is interested in being the alternate, we could, or we could wait till later.
Early moves for Verna to be the alternate.
Second.
There you go.
Okay. Madam Clerk, Early moved, and I don't know who wants to be the second. We have 2 seconds. Mayor Pro Tem Orozco?
Before we vote on that, we should take public comment, though.
And we'll take, that's a good point. Thank you so much. Let's hold off on that.
Thank you.
Table that motion for a second. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak?
We have no requests to speak on this item.
All right, we'll continue now with close the public comment and bring it back to council for the vote.
Councilmember Sulpicio Hull?
Aye.
Councilmember Early?
Aye.
Councilmember Ocala?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Orozco?
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero?
Aye. Thank you. And next is council calendar.
No report tonight, thank you.
All right, city manager's report.
Just a couple quick things. So the Mayor mentioned the event. I'll be out of the office most of next week, attending a couple of events in Southern California. One is I'll be going to part of the event the Mayor mentioned on homelessness with the U.S. Conference of Mayors to join her for part of that event. The other one, though, I wanted to highlight is something that was organized through the Governor's Office of Planning and Research, OPR. There's a select group meeting in LA next week to discuss housing, climate, and infrastructure. James Corliss at SACOG is sort of heading the Sacramento group. There's about 50 city managers and county executives throughout the state. It's going to be attended by the Caltrans director, the CARB director, HCD director, Energy Commission director, and the CPUC director as well. And I think the theme is how do we, boost housing production and also meet all these state goals. So kind of the discussion you were having earlier around policies related to promoting infill housing. I plan to share a lot of our experience there and hopefully, push some ideas that would help us back here in Sacramento, so the Sacramento region. So I'll be there and the U.S. Conference of Mayors thing as well. And then lastly, I just, Veterans Day discussion, just wanted to recognize our own Bill Roberts back there,
Thank you, Bill.
veteran of 2 combat
Thank you,
tours.
thank you.
Thank you for your service, Bill. And I know we have plenty of other veterans on staff, so we always do a little recognition on Veterans Day. Thank you.
Okay.
Just a question to
Sure, go
our city manager on that. So one, you highlighted that it was a select group of 50. There's, I think, roughly 420 cities in California, give or take.
440 something. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's counties too.
Yeah.
So.
I like numbers. And so it's pretty amazing that that you will, one, be speaking, and two, that our city is being invited to be at the table. And so I just thought it was important to highlight that, and thank
Invited
you for
to
your work.
participate, and I do plan to speak a lot.
Yes,
so, yeah.
yes, yeah,
great.
thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
just wanted to highlight that because yes, we're a small city, but we're constantly leading and punching above our weight.
We are. I would have to say the Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District has been one of the areas that I think the governor's office has noted that has helped, you see the Bridge District and the Washington District grow. And just seeing how that has maximized our potential to grow over the years. And we recently changed, the plans for River One so that they can move forward because of, the housing costs and loans, things like that. I know that it's been really challenging for developers to continue to move forward, and I'm just grateful for all we've done and for the staff's creativity to be able to get us to where we're at today. I mean, everybody keeps driving through and in awe of our accomplishments. Erin just continues to plug away.
Yeah.
City Attorney report. No report. Staff direction from City Council members. Any announcements?
I have them here.
Yes, Councilmember Alcala.
So this Sunday, November 5th, the 3rd annual Dia de los Muertos event is happening, and it's going to be at Bright Park from 1 to 4. It's going to be free food, games, crafts, music, dancers, and did I mention crafts as well? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. It's going to be a lot of fun. The nonprofits are going to be there, information for the community. It's going to be a great event. We've had a tremendous chairwoman this year who is pulling it all together. Supervisors Sandy and Villegas are also very involved in as sponsors for this event. And I want to invite everyone to come out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Any other announcements? Right. I just want to give a shout out to Parks and Rec. Kate, you've done a great job with the trunk or treat. Thank you so much. And all of those that were out there. It's her first Kate's trunk or treat. It was well attended, and all the partnerships that, made that happen. Fire department, police, everybody who came out in force to show a warm, safe welcome for our entire community. Those are trunk or treats are for kids and keeping it safe for them to be able to access the treats. We had kids visiting our neighborhoods too. So that was just a bonus for them. So thank you so much. And let's see, I think future agenda item request by council and none, and I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Early moves.
I'll second.
All right. Madam Clerk, early move, and Cepizio Hall seconded.
Councilmember Cepizio Hull.
Aye.
Councilmember Early.
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Orozco.
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye. All right, we are adjourned.